the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good evening, everybody. And yes, it is a good evening, isn't it? On it's all black and white TV tonight, and it's the match reaction. I've got Roly on with me. Pete will be coming along soon. How are you, Roly? You okay?
I'm disappointed because we scored 5 goals in 21 minutes, and then it took us to the second half to score again. God, what are the guys playing at?
Yeah.
Oh God, what
so yeah,
we wanted a reaction after the debacle at Villa. This wasn't what I had in mind, but it'll do.
No, we will get into that, but get in. We've got the win. We've got the win.
Yeah.
Right. So before I get into, I'm going to go to comments before we go into anything else. But before the comments, if you like what you see, then please smash those likes. That really does help the channel with the search results. So please smash those likes. Thank you if you're enjoying the show. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then hit the subscribe. Free to do so. It helps the channel grow. And also that bell notification tells you exactly when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows. I will be putting a link in the chat soon so people can come on and have 5 minutes and tell us what they thought of the game, because I reckon it could be a busy one. I'm going to go to the comments first of all before we get into the nitty-gritty of the game. Lewis says, oh my effing God, that was something special today. Absolutely. David Hutchinson, good evening to you. He says, that was absolutely brilliant from the lads. Spurs were absolutely shit. Yeah, we're going to come into that. Sexy Mag says, evening all, how are the lads? Up the Premiership we go. I'm out, so I will sadly miss a show live, but we'll catch up later. How are the lads? Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Cheers, Seth, and enjoy your evening with the blue nose. Hi, Tony and Roly says, Trolls. Hi, Trolls. Hope you're well. Mason, evening all. Evening, Mason. Hope you're well. Sefton, get in. They're talking to each other there. Trolls says, nerves are gone. So pleased, mate. And I hope you got your kit on in time as well. I think Spurs need some boots, says Trolls. Need more than boots. Ian says, evening, Trolls and Mason. What a day. Yeah, they're talking to each other there. Over the moon. Mason talking to Ian. I think Spurs need some. I think those Spurs need some boots. Yeah, I think they do. I'm over the moon and Jupiter as well, says Ian. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Aren't we all? Indeed. Exploring the northeast. It was an amazing performance by the lads today. Absolutely, mate. Definitely. Good result for Swansea. Yesterday, beating Mason for beating our Tottenham Mason. Yeah. That was a canny good, wasn't it, folks? Wasn't it just, Andrew? And I see you change your profile picture back to a normal one. Mason says it was David, the Swansea and Newcastle results have made my weekend. Absolutely. Evening, Tony and Roly says, exploring the northeast. Evening, mate. Close to my favourite 7-0, says Andrew. Wasn't far off, mate. Yeah. Evening, guys. Disappointed we drew the second half. Bias says, Spurs fans all that way for 20 minutes. Mason's talking to Andrew. Good stuff. Lewis says, I'm still in shock. Don't be in shock. Be in awe. Jan says, do I feel sorry for Spurs? No bloody way. Absolutely not, Jan. No way till we feel sorry for Tottenham Hotspur. They got what they deserved. And I'll read. Yeah, so.
Can I ask you a question, Tony, before we get into the chat? Did you get one of those government warnings, alert warnings on your phone at 3:00?
Yes, I did.
Spurs should have got those an hour ago. They might have turned up for the game.
Nice one. Yeah, absolutely.
What a game.
Brighton are playing well in the FA Cup against Man United, Law, says David DR. Bright. Spurs fans were home by half time, says Andrew.
Someone posted on Twitter, the Spurs fans come out in the ground after about 20 minutes.
I got my text message come through about a minute before the 3:00, and Mother Half, she didn't get one at all, so I don't know. I don't know what's happened there. But
mine came
right.
Spurs needed theirs at 2:00. That might have avoided a spanking if they did.
Yeah, absolutely. So before the game, we saw the team news come out, and that was the team news.
I was happy with that.
Dan Burn stayed in, and which was a good move, I think.
I thought he had an excellent game.
Obviously, we made a couple of changes. Obviously, Gordon sat on the bench, and Longstaff came back in, and that weren't a bad team. Then we saw the Spurs team, and the guest I had on earlier, Harry, a Spurs fan, he said, Stellini's matching Newcastle going 4-3-3. So we'll get into that in a moment. So that was the Spurs side to face us today. Now, we were in dreamland because on 61 seconds, what happened? The ball comes through, shot saved, Joe Linton shot saved, and Murphy's there to stick it in. Makes it 1-0. And you're thinking, wow, hang on, this is quick. We're ahead in the first minute already, 5 minutes later, Joe Linton has the freedom of St James's Park to score. Makes it 2-0, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, where's this come from all of a sudden? We've got this performance now. And it's just like, what is going on here? Then 9 minutes comes, and then we see a stunner from Murphy. I mean, Lloris just stood there and watched it go in. He didn't even attempt to save it or anything. He didn't even attempt to go for the ball. Technically, he probably should have gone for the ball, but he didn't. He just stood there.
Beauty. It was a thing of beauty, so he just stood there and admired the strike. He wasn't getting it. He could have set off yesterday. He wasn't getting to that. It was such a good strike from Murphy. Didn't someone in the warm-up show say that we thought Murphy would get a hat-trick? It came bloody close.
That was Coffee.
Yeah, it was Coffee. Ireland for a hat-trick, wasn't it?
And I mean, when Murphy scored that goal, we saw this reaction from Murphy, and it was like he was shocked by it going in, He possibly expected Lloris to have at least an attempt to try and save it. And then 19 minutes, obviously, we saw Isak. And what a pass that was from Joe Willock for the goal for Isak. Wow. And, and the thing is, that pass from Joe Willock, if that pass from Joe had been a De Bruyne pass, they'd be waxing lyrical, they'll be talking about it all day, every day. The fact it's Joe Willock, it'll probably not get a lot of mentioning. And the thing is, but Isak took the goal well, and he put that away. And then again, a couple of minutes later, Isak again scores again to put us 5-0 up. And I'm sort of looking at this thinking, hang on a minute, how on earth are we 5-0 up here? What on earth's gone on? Where's Spurs turned up from? And the thing is, my thoughts are, Stellini, like Harry said earlier, he's come to match us. The problem is, Stellini got his tactics all wrong because the biggest mistake he's made is trying to match us. Now, Christian Stellini is not a great manager. That is why he's an assistant manager, because he's not a manager. Now, you look at him, then he makes a change when they're 5-0 down. What is the point in taking off that poor lad Saw, who's confidence looks absolutely shattered when he was brought off. He looked distraught to be brought off, to be made the scapegoat, for Davinson Sanchez to come on. Why'd you make a change when you're 5-0 down like that? It's pointless. If you're going to do that change to make it a bit more defensive, you do that at 2-0 maybe, but not at 5-0. And Stellini looks truly out of his depth as a manager. And they got what they deserved. Second half started, and then Harry Kane got through. Shea could have done better.
It did slip at the wrong time, though.
He did slip up for that one, and Kane got the goal.
It's good strike by Kane.
Then we made a double change. Well, pops the ball at the back of the net and makes it 6-1. And we could have scored more, to be honest with you. But you know what it is? I think when we were 5-0 up, I think it was like game's finished, isn't it? But it's not, because you got a second half to go. But you know what? Yes, Spurs had a couple of goals, but they were nothing special. As I say, Stellini got everything wrong today, I think, for his team.
I think
if you're going to come back after the worst performance of the season against Aston Villa, this is how you do it. This is a comeback. And we've done this time and time again. When we've gotten beat, we've come back and we've won. But not just won, but won well. And today, and let's not forget, if this was a team in the bottom three, or struggling the other bottom end of the table, and we're thumping these 6-1, you know, you'd be thinking, well, yeah, but that's where they are. But this team's actually fifth in the league, and we're thumping them 6-1. Even Alan Smith on commentary said, well, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. And the thing is, believe it, Alan Smith, because at the end of the day, this is how we play. And the thing is, Eddie Howe outsmarted, outthought Christian Stellini today. And if Stellini wants to watch my channel, you can come on and watch it now. And I'm going to say to him, I've got a message for Christian Stellini. If you're in a masterclass on Eddie Howe, mate, go and watch YouTube videos, and then you'll see an Eddie Howe masterclass. Because I'll tell you what, he outthought you today, and you got what you deserved. And I hope Levy had a lovely journey back home. Because I tell you what, Levy, that is exactly what you and your club deserve, because you are a disgrace to football, Levy. And apparently after the game, he went straight in their dressing room. So, I mean, Lloris came off at half-time. They're saying it was an injury. He was interviewed about it. He looked a bit awkward saying it was an injury. I think more's gone on. I think, in all honesty, I think Lloris has opened his mouth in the dressing room, had a right go, and I bet he's been told, right, you're not going back out in the second half and you're taking off. I think there's been words said in that dressing room, because when he was asked about the injury, he seemed to like stutter and like, didn't know what to say. So I'm tempted to think Lloris has possibly said something wrong. I'm just going to jump in some comments, and I'm going to come to you, Roly, and get your thoughts, mate. Right. Let's get to where we were, the comments-wise. Yeah, we're at that one. And that one, yep. Top fans did go by 25 minutes. Yeah, they were starting empty, weren't they? You turned the one off, never got it. BSS, say Levy sitting next to his best mate, Richard Masters, corruption in action. Well, they couldn't corrupt that game because there was nothing to corrupt on that one. Lewis says it was nice to see Fraser Forster come on. Not really, because I can't stand the bloke, because I think he's another one that's got an agenda against Newcastle. So actually, I wasn't pleased to see him come on, and I'm glad he conceded as well. So don't rate him. Troll says maybe some of our lads want a spanking after the victory. You never know. Andrew says the semi-final is naff. Well, yeah, it's still 0-0 at the moment. My day gets better. Rangers losing 2-0. Wow. Saudi boy. Lewis says Saudi boy 6-1. Yeah. Isak on 10 goals, lads and lasses. Absolutely double figures now. Ian says, man, you players diving all over the place. I say, yeah, exactly. And even Goofy couldn't score, could he, from the free kick? Daniela Stewart. Hi, Daniela. She's a happy hammer tonight. Well done, boys, spanking the Spuds. What a result. Yeah, absolutely, Daniela. And what a hell of a game.
The result for the Hammers as well.
A great result for you. 4-0 away to
And just
Brentford.
about
That's a hell of a
safe,
result. Bournemouth,
just about
sorry.
safe.
Bournemouth. Yeah.
Just about safe. One more win will do it.
Exploring the northeast. I don't think Spurs will finish top 6 if Cellini. I tell you what, I can't see them finishing the top 7. Never mind the top 6, because Brighton's got games in hand over them, and Liverpool are closing in on them. Troll says, "Congrats to you too, Daniela. Fair play to West Ham and hope your club stays up," says Mason. Yeah. Luke says, "Not about the 6-1 win." Well, we got a response on the team. Brilliant boss them, didn't we? Yeah, absolutely. Sexy Max, I'm in the pub with lots of blues, and I can tell you, live, they're shaking with anticipation for War Game. How we the lads enjoy the show, and it's our turn for excitement of the future. Yeah, I bet the Everton fans are not looking forward to Thursday night,
I think
because we could dent their goal difference a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I think there'll be a lot of underpants in the washing by the time they get to play us to be cacking themselves so much.
Yeah. David says, "Did you hear the Spurs owner went to the dressing room?" Yep, I mentioned that. BS says, "Spurs will fall out European positions. Maybe they can arrange a match with Pontins FC." Daniela says, "Thank you. Congrats, UK." Yeah, no problem, Daniela. Craig says, "Let's hope Spurs make a Sunblock comeback against Man U." Do you know what? It would be funny if Spurs turned Man United over on Thursday. But you know what it is? I think, I wish that game was on a different night, because I would just like to have watched it just to see if there's a toxic atmosphere at the Tottenham Stadium, because I feel that on Thursday night, that atmosphere there is not going to be nice at all. It's going to be very, very uncomfortable. And, but we're not bothered because it's Spurs and we've beat them and we've stopped their winning run at St James's Park as well.
Yeah. Boy, did we stop it.
Yeah. Andrew says, "I wonder what Tosspot Merson has to say now." Absolutely. I've been watching the Cup semi, and if Ezra Five Slag ever mentions us time wasting again, he needs slap. Man, you have never been off the ground. Absolutely. I've seen that as well. Merson said, "We would win, to be fair, though." He's still a Tosspot. Oliver, "Come on, lads, 6-1. We ripped a new... Yeah, we did. We ripped them a new one. Absolutely. Spurs are shite. Do you know what it is? It's not the fact they're shite, Oliver. It's just the fact they're very disjointed. And the problem is, Stellini tried to match Eddie Howe, and that was the biggest mistake he's made.
Yeah. I mean, that is the biggest mistake he's made, because you can't match us for energy. You can't match us for... I mean, when we play like that, you can't live with us. I defy any team in the league to live with us the way we played in that first 20 minutes. Manchester City would struggle.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, you don't want... When they change your system to play us, you're hiding to nothing, because you're playing a system that you don't know or you don't play regularly. Yeah. And you're coming up against a team that is very, very good. And when we're clicking like we did today, you can pick a number, any number, over 3, and we could score that many goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, David says, "Forster is a Newcastle reject. Never rate Forster. I think he's shit goalkeeper." I don't rate him, to be fair. Andrew says, "West Ham's too good a side to go down." The thing is, Andrew, though, you're not too good or too big to go down, mate. That's the thing. We've been down twice, so we know that feeling. Villa's been down, so yeah.
I mean, it's...
Forest have been down, Take Kane out that side, and Tottenham are a mid-table at best. You know what? You're not far wrong there. I mean, look, I'll run through some stats. I mean, we had 57% possession to their 43. We had a total of 25 shots, 8 on target, 5 off target. They had 11 shots, 3 on target, 5 off target. Clear-cut chances, we had 5 compared to them, 1. We had 9 corners compared to their 3. I mean, 12 shots we had blocked, they only had 3 blocked. That shows you how much we were against them. And 2 saves each. I mean, I thought they were going to be a red card in the making in the second half, Tottenham, because I was expecting to see a red card from somebody because they were absolutely terrible the way they were flying in. I thought they were getting dirty as well, Tottenham.
Yeah.
And
I
that
think
Pedro Porro, I certainly do not rate him at all.
I
And
think
if they pay 45 million for him, he's absolutely dross.
I think if we'd scored early in the second half, I think they'd have a player sent off because they were losing towards the end of the first half. They're losing their rag because they were being absolutely mullered. And I think if we got one early in the second, I think that would have been a red because they were flying in. But because you can understand we didn't come flying out of the traps because the game was over in the first 8 minutes.
Oliver says, so then, gentlemen, will we get third or fourth? I'll tell you what it is, Oliver. We can still get third. Our goal difference is massive. Plus 20 over Man United now. And plus 22 over Smith. It's worth an extra point. But it all depends on how Man United cope in these games. If Man United slip up, if they get beat off Spurs, say, on Thursday, by any miracle, Spurs turn Man United over, and we win, we go 3 points ahead of Man United again, then I can see us finishing third. But it all depends how Spurs react on Thursday against Man United because they're in front of their own fans and they have got to put on a performance in front of them fans because I tell you now, that Tottenham Stadium on Thursday is going to be so toxic. I've seen it on Twitter. Some fans are saying they're not even turning up on Thursday. So, that's going to send a message to Daniel Levy. But the thing is, though, if these people that aren't going are season ticket holders, then I'm sorry it's too late because you've already handed the man your money. So it doesn't make... He's not going to care if he's sitting in the stands and you don't turn up and he's got a half-empty stadium because he's thinking, well, it doesn't matter because I've got the money anyway, so what do I care? But, we absolutely love it. Daniela says, would you say the big question next season is going to be how you handle your 2 games a week if you get some sort of European football? That's going to be a difference, but it's one we have to cope with, Danielle. And, we will just have to adjust. And at the end of the day, we are where we are because we've played so well this season. And, like the other day when you mentioned, as Champions League come too early, maybe. But there again, we can only do where we go. If we're finishing in the top 4, we just got to accept it and we've got to roll our sleeves up and think, right, okay, we're finishing the top 4. Let's give it a go next season. Even if we only got to even if we got to the second round or the quarterfinals, maybe at the most in the Champions League, it's still a good adventure. So we'll find out on that one. Mason says, I think Man U will batter Spurs, in my opinion. The could will. And Exploring the Northeast says, if we win our last games on Spurs and Man U to F up, yeah, absolutely. Roly, I'm going to bring the other guest in. So if you want to tell us about the match and what your thoughts are. And here is Pete. Hi, Pete. You all right?
All right.
Yeah.
You look cheerful, Pete. I can't understand why.
By the way, I just want to say, thank you for today in Newcastle. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, what a game it was. It's really hard to pick a man of the match because the only one that really isn't in the running would be Nick Pope and Manquillo. Not that they were bad, it's just everyone else was so good. Of the players that started the game, it wouldn't be outlandish to give them all 10 because the team played. So however bad we were at Villa last weekend, we were that good today. It's a complete mirror image of the performances. It was absolutely superb. Great start. I must admit, I wasn't expecting Murphy to actually score in that first minute because it's a difficult shot and you normally expect him to hit the post. And I thought he'd just try and cross it. He finished it well. And then they just fell apart and we ripped them to pieces. It's a joy to watch. The last time I remember someone getting so thoroughly destroyed in the first half was that promotion season under Kevin Keegan, last game of the season when we were 6-0 up against Leicester at half time. Ended up winning 7-1. But again, some of the football we played was delightful. Like Willock's pass through for Isak's goal, the through ball, the run by Joe Linton to stay onside for his goal. It's just an all-round superb. It couldn't have been more different from the performance against Villa. Disappointed that we let the goal in. I want a clean sheet again. But is that being greedy?
No.
I mean, Harry Kane took his Shah had a little bit of a slip when he was trying to tug him, and Harry Kane does what he does. He very rarely misses from that sort of position. But the game was already won by then, so it's just giving him a consolation. But everyone to a man, even the subs. I mean, Gordon looked dangerous. He was a bit unlucky with his shot getting blocked. It's a nice little cameo. I think that he'll be having a cameo role till the end of the season. It's good to see Miggy back on. It was great when Wilson came on that he scored pretty much straight away. I think it was like 63 seconds after coming on. I mean, we're in such a good position having two really good strikers bang on form. But Alexander Isak, what a player. He's going to turn. He pays, it works out he'll pay 63 million with all the add-ons. That's going to be a bargain. That's going to be a bargain. The guy is so
absolutely
good. He is so good. Took his goals well. His press, because he's really lanky. You don't expect him to be as quick as he is, but he's really quick. And he presses. I mean, one of the things he said when he signed for us is that he does enjoy pressing, and you can see that in the way he plays. I think Murphy was superb. I think that's the best game he's played in black and white. Yeah, it's just one of the things that I was hoping that they might bring Matty Target on at the end when they brought Manquillo on. I was thinking about that, but again, save Trippier for Wednesday. But Everton will be cackling themselves, knowing that we're coming to town after that performance. It's just I've not seen us play that well for a long time, and that's saying something because we played really well in games this season, but that was just something different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean we've thrashed teams this season and not played as well as we did today.
Yeah. I'm just going to jump into some comments. Andrew says, just watch your post-match, Peter. You were buzzing a bit, haha. Everybody's saying hello to you, by the way, Pete.
You hope everyone's well.
Big Joe for man of the match says Trolls. Yeah, he's definitely up there. Del Boy, Gunner TV. Hi, Del Boy. Hope you're well, mate. He says, great win today, Toonami. I reckon you guys will win a league within the next 5 years.
I hope so.
Yeah. Italy Jet. Hi, everyone. Hi, Italy Jet. Good result for you. Lot today, mate. Daniela. She's a West Ham fan, Pete, and she says, once you're in Europe, you have to stay in it season after season. Absolutely, Daniela. And that's the thing. As we continue to grow, then yes, we should do, hopefully. She says, I think you 90% have top four. Yeah, I can't see Spurs recovering from this now. Yeah. They've got to play Liverpool as well. So, Exploring the Northeast says, if you could bring in one player in the summer, who would you bring in? Right, if I could bring one player in, do you know what it is? You've put us under the cosh here because you're only seeing one player, and there's lots of players I could think of. Do you know what? You've put me right on the spot, yeah, because I'm trying to think. There's so many good players I would bring into the team.
That's a very good question. If you're only allowed one.
Right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go for this one. And Well, it's a toss-up. I've got a few players, but it's a toss-up. Right, here we go. If there's one player that we could get in the summer, this player would bolster our midfield, and it's the one I keep going on about. Here he is, Manu Kone. That's who I would want in the summer. What a hell of a player he is. 21-year-old French player. He's a fantastic talent. Get him in the club. That's my pick. Pete, who would you bring in? One player.
Musa Diaby.
Yeah, Diaby, yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many, Pete. There's so many that that you think of to bring in, and it's like, who do you pick?
Yes, if we're only allowed to pick one player.
Who's your pick, Roly?
I don't know. I mean, I think if there's one player that we would look to upgrade that's more urgent than the others would be left back. But what do I want? Oh, it's such a difficult question. I mean, I like both of you.
Left back, do you want him?
Yeah, he could, yeah.
He's on a free.
He's on a free, isn't he?
It's on a free in the summer. Grimaldo.
Yeah, that's the name. I couldn't remember the name. Grimaldo. Yeah. I think I'd take him, but not. That's just so difficult. I mean, because that's where we need a definite upgrade. But the other positions we've got cover, and obviously want to upgrade, but it's not as urgent as left back. It's no disrespect to Dan Burn, who I thought had an excellent game today, both defensively and actually attacking as well. He was getting forward and the dribbles into the box, and but I think we need a specialist left back, a high quality specialist left back. But yeah, your picks. Why don't we have all three?
Well, if you have one each, there you go. You see, it's all three then, isn't it? So you're going Grimaldo, are you?
Is Roly there?
You should say that again, Tony.
I saw you going for Grimaldo then.
Yeah, I'll go for him.
Yeah, right. Craig says with our next two, and the donkey work for the Champions League is I think so. Yeah, definitely. AK says what a day, absolutely. Delboy says hit those likes up, people. Yeah, smash the likes, and also if you're new to the channel, then please hit that subscribe as well. Thank you very much indeed. Craig says 5 places in the Champions League from next year. Interesting. My choice would be Diaby, says Andrew. EK says Matoma and Diaby for me. Yeah, but you only pick one. So, and he says also Kefren Turam as well. Well, yeah, they're good players. Chris Wood back. Oh, come on, Andrew. You're winding us up now. Go away, Andrew.
Why am I not surprised that Andrew said that?
Bremer from Juventus, right centre back. Do you know what, Trolls? That's a hell of it. That would be a hell of a signing. He's one hell of a player.
How old is he?
24, I think he is, Bremer.
It's a nice age. Fits in with him. Yeah.
He's Brazilian.
Yeah, I know.
He's a hell of a centre half though. You know, when he played for Torino, he's just a monster at the back for them. But yeah, Bremer is definitely would be a nice one to get. But that's a good idea. I like that. I like that one because he is a good. He's a good centre half. He's 26, actually. Sorry, he's 26. Bremer.
Yeah, we do need someone to challenge Fabian Schär because Fabian, is he 31 next year?
31 now.
Yeah.
31 now, yeah. So he's still playing superbly, but we need someone to challenge him for that starting spot.
Daniela says, do you think you need to look at a player that's played in European football?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, definitely, especially Champions League. I mean, if we're getting Champions League, then you're going to have to go for that more elite player for the Champions League. So, yeah, definitely. Craig says, Guendouzi or Simons for me. Do you know what, Xavi Simons? That's that would be a great signing as well. Guendouzi's hitting it off for Marseille, isn't he? That's the thing. And he's only 24.
Then you've got Milinkovic Savic from...
Yes, here's Jeff Hendrick.
Are you joking here in disguise?
He must be, mustn't he?
Yeah.
So, Pete, obviously, you were at the game today, and most of the goals were scored at the opposite end to where you are, unfortunately. I mean, before I ask you to give me your rundown, Oliver asked a question earlier, and because you're there, and I'm going to bring Mason to the chat as well here, so I'll get Mason. Hi, Mason, as well. Right, Oliver's asking, will we get third or fourth, Peter? What's your prediction now?
Oh, wow. I'm going to go for... I'm confident. Third.
What about you, Mason, on Oliver's question?
If Tottenham go on the down spiral again, and then Manchester United, if they do practically the same, then I think we could go for third, and then Brighton and Aston Villa can come into fifth and sixth, because, to be honest, I think Villa should be where Spurs are now, because
Well, there will be soon.
Villa are a much better footballing side comparing to Tottenham, because Tottenham, after the day, what I see in person, which is absolutely the worst team I've seen teams support this season by a country mile. Just the way they had no passion, they had no desire. I mean, it wasn't good enough. And whoever comes in the summer has got a lot to do to see which players he's going to keep and who he's going to sell, because I think a majority of them will be gone in the summer, including Harry Kane, because I think Harry Kane will be gone this summer.
Yeah, I think he will too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm going to come to you, Pete, but I mean, Stellini did say after the match that he's hoping to stay in charge for the rest of the season. Now, there is a big rumour going around that apparently Levy's going to sack him after today's game, and he's going to replace him with Ryan Mason. But that's a rumour going around. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. They reckon the Spurs players would rather have Ryan Mason in charge. Is that a bit disrespectful on Stellini, or do you think that's the right call, Pete? Do you think if he sacks him now, do you think that's wrong?
It's a strange one, isn't it? I mean, he's had 3 games, he's won 1, but he's had 2 defeats as well, doesn't he? I mean, it was a funny one, because even Kieran Dyer said it was a bit of a strange one that they've given Stellini the job at the moment.
Oh.
It would actually surprise me, if he was to be replaced. I mean, I don't think he's the answer anyway for them.
No.
I mean, to be beaten off Bournemouth and to be absolutely trounced off us is just... I think he's not the right man, so it wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't say be disrespectful. I think they've got to look at thinking he's not the right person to keep us in a run for a Champions League spot.
And give me your thoughts today, Peter, on the game, because obviously, like I see, you were there, and I mean, did you expect that from 61 seconds onwards?
Absolutely not. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a comfortable or really absolutely dominant first half performance in my lifetime. I mean, the way we just blew Spurs away was just wow. We absolutely steamrolled them. Their defence was a shambles. We capitalised on that brilliant. Lloris again, error prone again, particularly for the first goal. So we looked at an advantage, which we did. And wow, I can't believe we just absolutely blitzed them in the first half completely. It was just amazing to see. Those goals go in was just wow. And to see some of those Spurs fans leaving as well early in the game was quite funny as well. But credit to the ones that stayed back, though, in a way. But we just absolutely blew them completely into oblivious.
I mean, when we were 3-0 up in like 9 minutes. That brought memories back because I remember being at that game when we were playing Arsenal at home under Pardew, and Arsenal went 3-0 up in 9 minutes, against us. And by half time, they were 4-0 up. And obviously, that game we know we came back into, but then that was because of a stupid sending off by Arsenal player Abu Diaby. But I thought, well, lightning won't strike twice in this one. But I mean, I was thinking if 5-0, I thought, surely we're going to come out in the second half. We're going to score probably another 2 or 3 at this rate. When they brought Lloris off, and I thought, that's a strange one. Were you shocked by that?
That was a very strange one. Now, I don't know if it was, some people said it wasn't an injury, but from what I heard as well, again, I don't know how true it is. Apparently, he refused to come on in the second half.
Yeah, because he said, was it an injury? And he sort of he didn't really want to say. But also, according to some people, I reckon he might have just gone off it in the dressing room and he's been told by the manager, you're not going back out there.
Well, again, he wasn't helped by the defence in front of him because their defender was awful. Absolutely awful.
What do you expect if you've got Diabolical in the back line?
Exactly. He's shocking. Is it Romero? I thought he was dreadful as well.
Porro's not that good either, is he?
He was dreadful as well.
Do you think Lloris has finished now as a keeper?
It's a hard, funny one, isn't it? I mean...
at Spurs, yes.
He's 36 old now,
Yeah.
That's still not that old for a keeper. But I don't think he'll be. He could be. Will be at a top level club.
Yeah.
He's not finished. His career's not over, but I don't think he'll be playing at a club that's got aspirations of European football.
Yeah, says I'd bring in Mbappe as cover in case Murphy gets injured. Troll says to your local team be a vacant. Craig says chances of getting Bobby Clark back, zilch, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think third, says Exploring the Northeast, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
6 points from the next 2 games puts preaching on Man United. Yeah, it does. It puts pressure on Man United. It absolutely does.
Yeah, because Man United's next 3 games, they're away at Tottenham, then they've got Villa coming to them, and then they go to Brighton.
Yeah, not easy games. And not only that, Southampton won't enjoy coming to St James's Park next week either.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yes, I thought if 5-0 Stellini would flap his ass and fly away. He's got some lugs on him, hasn't he? It's like the FA Cup, innit? The handles on him. Daniela says, if that is so that the players down tools to get the manager sacked, then Ryan Mason needs to refuse a job out of moral loyalty. If it's true what's being said, we don't know. I mean, Daniel Levy went into the dressing room after the game, so we don't know what's going on.
I mean, it's just really strange that they sack the manager and don't sack his assistant as well. Because normally they have a clear out. The manager goes and the assistant, and then they get a caretaker in. I mean, they probably should have gone for Ryan Mason from the get-go because that's what a lot of people expected that. I
think they kept with Stellini because he'd had a good record when he's took over from Conte, and he isn't now. He needs him. He needs to, like I said, if he watches this channel, my message to Stellini is please go on YouTube and watch the Eddie Howe Masterclass, because today Eddie Howe outthought you and outplayed you and outsmarted you today. You tried to match us and that was your big error. And to pull that, and I do feel sorry for that poor lad Sarr who got pulled off, because at the end of the day, he's only a young kid. Now his confidence might be shattered by that. And at 5-0, why you make a defensive change when it's too late at 5-0? Done that earlier if you're going to make a defensive change. That's how poor a man Stellini actually is. Reminds me of Frank Lampard, in all honesty. Ian says, I see a lot of the media are focusing on how bad Spurs were instead of how good we were.
Of course they are.
Absolutely. And I mean, we were clinical today. Everything we hit turned to gold. And this is the thing. A team has been waiting for a thrashing. And it just happened to be Tottenham Hotspur. As I say, it was 60 football today. Do you like the way I put that? 60?
Yeah.
Andrew says, I expect that. They're ignorant. Me too, says Ian. Daniela says, yeah, that easy rating we had the same last week. Everyone was going on how bad Arsenal were, but not on the improvement of the West Ham side. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
You did well against Arsenal.
Yeah, I thought you should have won that one.
Yabba dabba do. All right, lads. Yeah, fine, mate. I hope you're well. And exploring the North East is, I reckon, Eddie Howe is the best manager in the Premier League. Do you know what? If he doesn't get Premier League Manager of the Season, there's something seriously wrong. Mason, good evening.
Hello.
I'll see you at the game today. What's your thoughts on today's game?
Um,
Were you expecting that for a start? That's before the game kicked off.
To be honest, I wasn't expecting the scoreline, but I think it would have been like a 3 or 4-0 because I think Tottenham's confidence after the Bournemouth game was pretty low going into today's game against us. The confidence might have been the same, and then obviously when we scored the first goal, that's it. Their heads went down, and they did not try after that. I mean, I could go through some of the signs they've made, and that, I mean, Bazuma should have stayed at Brighton, Richarlison should have stayed at Brighton because they've just went there and fucked their careers up. Because I don't get, they shouldn't have went because of the money. They should have stayed loyal to the clubs, and they've just went there and fucked their careers up basically. And as for Lloris, after it showed you today that he is finished. He's finished as a keeper because you can't be a top keeper who was a captain of Tottenham, who was a captain of France, to come out and put a performance in like that, and then the way he reacted in the change room was it just isn't good enough, and he just needs to either hang his gloves and boots up or just say, I don't know how long he's got in his contract, but I think he just needs to go back to France and play back there because I think he's finished in the Premier League now. And to be honest, Fraser Forster, I don't know why he's went there as well. And they've got two 24-year-olds goalkeepers as well who, in my view, after the day, need a chance because they're just sitting there on the bench. I mean, come on, that Tottenham side, as I said earlier on as well, that Tottenham side needs whoever's in charge needs. It needs what's the word? A clear out because that shows you that apart from Kane's maybe Son, they haven't been good enough this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just looking at Lloris, he's got a year left on his deal from the summer. According to SofaScore, his value is €3.9 million. But I can't believe what SofaScore have done. They've given Marks a 5 out of 10 for today's game. You can't see the 5 goals in the first half. That's not 5 out of 10,
well,
is it?
He wasn't helped, as I mentioned. He wasn't helped with his defence in front of him. But the first goal,
what defence?
Well, exactly. Well, and he parried out the one to Murphy for the first one.
I mean, when Murphy scored that second goal, I mean, what a hell of a goal that was from Murphy, by the way. I mean, Lloris didn't even make an attempt to save it, did he? And he possibly was at fault for that as well. But I mean, this picture says it all, doesn't it? I mean, Murphy's face, it looked in shock that he had actually scored a second.
Oh, I don't know if it's shock. It looks like he's just really
surprised.
Excited. No, I'd say he's just celebrating because he always seems to scream when he scores. But maybe it's surprised. Maybe he's just thinking, what a goal that was.
What do you think about that picture, Pete?
That's funny, that.
I think he's probably more surprised that he scored 2 goals because he normally hits the post.
I mean, Son didn't really turn up, did he, and do a lot?
I thought he was anonymous. I thought
he had a couple of runs and stuff, but then Tottenham as a team,
even though he scored, I didn't think Kane was great either.
Yeah. I mean, all the things we're saying about Tottenham, we're saying about us last week at Villa. No one turned up.
Yeah. Ian says they don't want Newcastle or West Ham up there in the top end of the table. No, they don't. You're right.
Well,
And Daniela agrees with Ian, and she says, if Pep wins the league, Champions League, and FA Cup, he gets Manager of the Year. Yeah, and that would be fair enough, wouldn't it?
I mean, the thing about the other people not wanting us to be in teams like us and West Ham getting in amongst the bigger clubs, they've got the two things they can do about it: nothing and like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And she says, talking to Ian as well, she says, so that don't make way for the Big Six fan base have been trying to get Declan Rice out of West Ham for the last 3 seasons. I mean, it's just... I just couldn't believe what I was watching today, because I just thought, hang on a minute, was just scoring for fun here. And, even Wilson gets on the act 64 seconds on the field and he scores. Mm-hmm. So at least you got to see one goal at your end, Pete.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I mean, we saw video footage of the Spurs fans who are streaming out of the football ground. I mean, how many looked as if they had gone, Pete? Wasn't many left.
Oh, still probably maybe a couple of thousand, but there's definitely quite a lot left.
I know they had banners. I forgot who the other guy was, but they were saying they had. Well, a couple of them had banners saying whoever the guy's second name is and Levy out, and then it just had money. The guy's like leaving the other guy and money behind them.
Lewis,
I think it was
Joe Lewis, the owner.
They had them two with money on the back saying in the middle saying, and then on top Joe, like Lewis and Levy, get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
I mean this is Daniel Levy going down to the dressing room.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck was that?
There's one thing that happened today that I don't recall ever seeing before. That's in the first half, one team olaying when we're passing the ball around, because the game was won, and there's a spell after about half an hour or so where we're just passing between ourselves, and the crowd go, "Olé, olé!" You normally do that in the last 5 minutes of the game, not with sort of 15 minutes left of the first half. It's just, that's crazy. But we're in a position where we could do that. It's great. Oh, unbelievable.
I mean, yeah, Everton, they must be frightened for this on Thursday. I mean, they're in the bottom 3 as we talk, and we could just dent their goal difference a lot more. And I mean, do you see us going down there and giving them a hammering like we did to Spurs, or do you think it'll be a more tighter game, Pete?
I think we'll beat them. Yes, I really believe we'll beat them. Maybe be a little bit odd, because Everton obviously are trying to fight to stay in the Premier League for next season, but I can't see why we're going down there and win comfortably as well.
I mean, yeah, they're going to set up with in a 1-10 formation, so you know that. So they're just going to try and make it just sit back and say, "Come beat us." But that plan, if we start quickly like we did today, that plan falls apart. Then they've got to come out and we can tear them to pieces. But we've got to be on it, because even though we won today really easily, you've got to work for it, because nothing comes easy in the Premier League. Even when you have easy victories, you've got to put the work in. We scored the goals because the guys put the work in the first 20 minutes and then continued to work for the rest of the game. You've got to do that. Yeah. If you don't turn up, you get beat. Like last week, we didn't turn up against Villa and we got beat. A team that we really should be, we're good enough to beat at their place. So we've got to turn up at Everton. If we turn up, we'll win.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I've got a fan in the green room, so I'll bring him in and get his thoughts on today's game. It's Gordon. Hi, Gordon. How are you?
Yeah.
Hi, Gordon.
Great.
Gordon, give us your rundown of today's game and what was your thoughts on the game?
Easy.
Did you expect it?
Well, I said the other night. I said 4-1, so wasn't far off.
And I mean, were you surprised that we were 5 up by half time?
I was surprised we were 4 after 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I
That
mean,
shocked me. And they were weird, but
yeah.
I didn't expect that to be 4-0 after 21 minutes.
It was 5 after 21.
5 after 21
I
minutes.
lost count.
I mean, that's the second fastest team to get to 5 goals in 21 minutes, because we've just been beaten to the record by Manchester City, who done it in 19 minutes, and that was against Watford. But that was against a Watford team who are so poor. We were playing a team 5th in the league, at the top end of the Premier League, a Big Six team, and we've brushed them aside.
It was absolutely battered them. And then if I was Tottenham fans, I'd be ashamed of that team.
We scored one more goal in the last biggest win against Spurs at St James's Park, and that was when we went down. We beat them 5-1, remember?
Yeah, I remember that game, yeah.
And who impressed you today, Gordon? I mean, if you had to pick a man of the match, who could you pick out of that lot? That was too hard.
Is there only one man? His name's Isaac.
Isak, yeah?
Yeah, it's an argument for that.
That's a good shout. And obviously, Gordon, I mean, we'll go to Everton on Thursday night at Goodison Park. We went there last year on a Thursday night and we lost 1-0 because Harry Potter decided to chain himself to the goalpost. I mean, yeah, well, that's what we call him, don't we, Harry Potter? Because he looks like him. I mean, we'll go to Everton. I mean, what are you expecting against Everton?
3 points.
What do you think the score will be?
I'm going to go between 2 and 3-0.
2 and 3-0. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad. And who's going to score?
Isaac, Wilson. I'm going to say Anthony Gordon.
That'd be good. If Gordon scored.
Now then, do you think Gordon, but do you think he'll start? Or do you think you'll start Wilson?
I think you keep the same 11 and bring Wilson Gordon on second half.
Because remember when we played Man United, Isak came off, and then obviously Wilson came on for Isak. Then we played West Ham on the Wednesday. Wilson started Isak on the bench. So do you not think he might do the same because we've got 3 games in 7 days?
Yeah, I think you could start Wilson and Anthony Gordon on Thursday night.
He could well do. And I mean, I'll just show you this before you go as well. I mean, obviously, we didn't see one last week, but we've got one this week. And it's the team pick, taking it half time. May as well took it at half time because we won the game by then. Yeah. No, that was obviously taking the full time, but yeah, we're just joking aside, yeah. But yeah, so thanks for coming on, Gordon, and giving us your views, mate. And,
Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, mate.
I will do now. See you later, guys.
Cheers, Gordon. Bye-bye, mate.
Bye.
I mean, I'm going to put a picture up here, and this is the running. So we can tick Spurs off as we've beat them. We've got Everton, Southampton, Arsenal, Leeds, Brighton, Leicester, and Chelsea. I'm going to start with you, Mason. Out of what's left there, how many points do you think out of those teams?
4.
And do you expect any losses in that as well?
I'm only predicting 1 out of them, possibly 2, but I'm thinking 1 draw.
1 draw, and who's that against?
I'm thinking Brighton. We're going to get a draw against Brighton. The way they're playing against Man United currently, I mean, they've been solid at the back. They've been a threat.
I think.
Well, look, it is. And they look a threat.
Yeah.
If our defence and their defence be as more tight as it can be, I feel like that'll be the only game that we'll get a draw out of. Leeds is a definite because the way they've been playing these last few games, they've been disappointing. Everton, I feel like we can snatch it. Yes, they'll be up for it because we've got one of their former players coming back. But if we play better, if we play like we did today, it got us, and I feel like we can. I feel like we can get the chance. Southampton definitely 3 points because they're going down. Arsenal, if we play like what we did against Man United, and the way we played against them last season, we can do them over again. Leicester definitely, probably, and Chelsea as well. I mean, there's a few teams out in there that we can just dominate, like get the 3 points because some of them teams have had awful, like mainly Leeds, Everton, Leicester, and Chelsea, and Southampton have had awful seasons. The only, well, I said Everton, we could snatch at Everton, but the only two teams I think we could snatch a win, but I feel, and my heart says it's going to be a draw, Brighton and Arsenal. I feel like we're going to get a draw out with them too. Hopefully a win, but you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good shout. Pete, what's your predictions on those games?
Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if he could win all of them, the rest of them, to be honest. Do you know what? I think if Brighton will be a bit hard, but I think I could just see us winning that. Arsenal, I think the least we can get out of that's a draw.
Mm-hmm.
But Leeds, Everton, I think we'll win. Leeds, I could see us winning down at Ellen Road.
Well, they've conceded 11 goals in 2 games there, haven't they? Palace and Liverpool.
I mean, that's terrible, that. I mean, I watched Meslier and he's just a poor keeper.
So you wouldn't have him at Newcastle?
No. Definitely not. Leicester, I can see us winning that as well. Do you know what? I can think if we win a draw game, it's probably Arsenal. But the rest, I can't see why we can't win the rest.
That's not a bad shout, you know, Pete. That's not a bad shout at all. So you're talking what?
Yeah.
6 wins in the draw there. So
Absolutely.
you're talking 19 points there, which isn't a bad end to the season. Roly, what's your take on the final running? Everton, Southampton, Arsenal, Leeds, Brighton, Leicester, Chelsea.
If we turn up, I agree with Pete. We're capable of winning all of them. I'm not saying we're going to, but we're capable of winning all of them. Everton's going to be difficult, mainly because they're going to park the bus. But if we can start like we did today and get a goal early, they can't do that because they need the points. And then they could tear them apart. Southampton, we should beat them. Though they did have a good game against Arsenal on Friday. We should beat them.
Yeah.
Arsenal are doing what Arsenal do. They're bottling it. I think we can turn them over. Leeds are the gift that keeps on giving. Brighton's going to be a tough game. I'd be more worried if we're away from home than at home.
Yeah.
And when we hopefully they win the penalty shootout, and then they'll have a final to look forward to. And they might not have their mind on the game. Leicester, there's no reason why we can't beat them, and the same with Chelsea. We could get anywhere between 16 and 21 points.
Right, okay. I'm going to go 17 points out of that lot. We'll get a win against Everton, Southampton, draw with Arsenal, win at Leeds, draw with Brighton. So that's 3, 6, 7, 10, 11 points there, and we'll beat Leicester and Chelsea, so that'll make it up to 17 points, I think all in all. I mean, I've got some comments here, so I'll just go into these comments. Ian says, Declan Rice is a class player. You need to hold on to him. Daniela says, the advantage Newcastle have over West Ham is your owners have money. It's coming out tonight that owners are thinking of selling it up now. What, selling the club, is it, or Declan Rice? Yabba Dabba Doo says, the victims are the fans. Oh, well, 3 big points for us. That's important, absolutely. Bia says, Gordon's beat the hairdressers and that's for a Jeff Hendrick. Daniela thinks 12 to 15 points from the running. Yabba Dabba Doo says 17 out of 21. Same as me. Andrew says, my dad hugging all the players coming off the pitch, though. You don't see that elsewhere. No, you don't. Absolutely right. Last year, what owners got ridiculed for having a little kickabout on the pitch. Yasser Al-Ramai and Jamie Rubin and Miadad. But, you know, what's wrong with that? Just a bit of fun. I think 17 points out of them games, says Ian. Yeah. And Andrew thinks maximum points 21.
Ooh.
So Andrew's got the confidence. The confidence is running sky high through Andrew. But, yeah. So what we'll do now is we'll go through the player ratings and join into the chat. So have your say in the chat what you think about the players. Yeah. So I'm going to start with you, Roly, and I'll give you Nick Pope.
Didn't have an awful lot to do. Made a couple of good saves. Disappointing he didn't keep the clean sheet, but that wasn't really his fault. So I'm going to give him an 8.
An 8. Fair enough. Okay. And Andrew says, Pens and Semi, yeah.
Yeah, just about to start now.
Yeah, it's 2-1, right?
Yeah, it's 2-1. Yeah, of course, it's just scored. Daniela says, selling the club, it's looking like West Ham could be up for sale.
Well, they always say.
Yeah, Yabba Dabba Doo says, Pope 7. Yamin says 6. And Ian says, easy, Tony, all at 10. Right, Pete, I'm going to give you Kieran Trippier, the captain.
Trippier, I thought he was really, really good today. I thought he resurrected his poor performance from last week. And I thought he was captain on the day. I thought today he really, really was. Definitely, I thought he was excellent today. So a 9 for Trippier.
A 9 for Trippier, yeah, that's a fair enough result. Oh, they've just scored that one. Dallo, I think it is. Right, okay, so we'll come to the centre backs. So I'm going to give you Fabian Schär Mason.
Better game than last week. I think it's a shame he came off. I don't know what happened there, but
they reckon a calf injury.
It looked like he got a heavy knock.
I think he was solid again at the back. Just disappointed we conceded the goal, but overall he was solid again. So I'll probably give him an 8. I would have given him a 9 or a 10, but I give him an 8 just because if Kane hadn't have scored, I would have given him 9.
Oh, I think he deserves a 9. What about the pass for Joe Linton's goal?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, go on then. I give him a 9. I only give him an 8. I've only given him an 8 basically because the defense opened up a bit for Kane when he scored. So I'll give him a 9.
Yeah. I'll take Sven Botman. Botman, I thought, had a solid game again. He looked better today. Very assured. He could do nothing about Kane's goal because obviously it wasn't his fault. But no, I thought he had a solid game today, Botman. Did all what he had to do. So I'll give him a 9. I think that's about right. Yamin says Schär an 8. Yabba Dabba Do say 7 for Share and 8 for Botman. Bit harsh. Right, Pete. Sorry, it's Roly, isn't it? So Roly, we complete the back five with Big Dan Burn.
I thought he's had his best game for a while today. I thought he was really good, defended well. He's actually looked dangerous going forward as well. So he had that header from the corner. I think it hit Longstaff, but if he's not in the way, Nestle's in the corner. I'm giving him a 9.
A 9?
Yes.
Well, he was really good. Yeah. Well, he was really good today.
That's fair enough. Right, Pete, we'll come to you. So we've got the midfield 3, the trio. And you get Bruno. Bruno in the middle.
Bruno, excellent. Controlled that midfield. Really did. His skills with the ball was just exceptional. It really was. Absolutely brilliant. Really was brilliant for Bruno today. So a 9 for Bruno as well.
A 9 for Bruno. Marcus Rashford's about to take a penalty. And so 9 for Bruno. Right, let's see what the comments are saying. Yamin says Botman a 10. Burn a 7, says Yabba Dabba Do. Yamin says 7 for Burn. Oh, I thought you played better than that. And Bruno 10 says Yabba Dabba Do. And Bruno 10 from Yamin as well. Right. So, yeah, exactly. So, Mason, I give you Sean Longstaff.
He did all right. It's good. It was good. He started the game, and to be fair, I think the midfield played a bit better today with him in the side. So sorry, I was just watching Lewis Dunk's penalty. So I think the midfield was better today with him in the side. So I'll give Longstaff a 9. Don't
forget he had an assist as well.
Oh, I keep forgetting. Actually, I'll give him a 10.
Yeah, because he had that assist for second. Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
There's so many.
So we complete the midfield 3, and I'll take Joe Willock. Joe Willock, I thought, outstanding energy. He's running off the ball.
Sorry,
he's running off the ball. That's just gone in. He's running off the ball, fantastic, as well as on the ball. The pass for for Isak's goal for the first of Isak's goals. I mean, what a pass that was. As I've said earlier on, if that was done by De Bruyne, they'll be waxing lyrical over it everywhere. And I think rightly so, they should be waxing lyrical over Joe Willock's pass, because it should be mentioned that, what a pass it was. He's just getting better and better now. This guy needs to be in the England squad, in my opinion. He's good enough for England. But Joe Willock, he ran well today. He done everything he needed to do. Energy's there. He's just done everything. Shame he couldn't get a goal. And I give Willock a 10, because I thought he was absolutely outstanding. Just going to some comments before we go to the next one. Andrew says we've got Mafinho. Yeah.
No, what it is.
Can he penalty shootout Lake, isn't it?
I've seen some kid with it, young kid with it, Wilkinho, like with Wilkinho name on the back. I thought that's kind of good.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Joe Linton, man the match for me, stepped it up and was desperate to win, says Craig. Yeah, absolutely. Yamin says 11 for Longstaff. Wilkinho a 10, and Wilkinho. Yeah, absolutely. 6-6 now on penalties. Okay, so we'll now go to the front 3. And right, so it's back to you now, Roly. And you've got Jacob Murphy. He's glad about that.
You've got to give a 10. I thought that's the best game he's played for Newcastle. He got 2 goals for starters. Normally that would win you the man of the match, but not in this particular game. But I thought he was superb. And it's really good to see after he had that poor game against Villa to come back so strongly. And he just
he's missed it, March. Over the bar. Sorry, Roly.
Yeah, I thought he was superb today. Running his heart out, doing the pressing. It's 10 out of 10 for that performance.
Yeah. That's okay. That's good. Okay. Right. Pete, I'll give you Alexander Isak.
What can you say? Isak was really good, brilliant today. The 2 goals he scored were really, really good. As well as control on the ball was just exceptional as well. Just brilliant.
Man, you were through.
And I'm just glad. And I'm just glad he's now into double figures. Now it's just a matter of time that he was going to get double figures for us now.
Yeah.
That's 10 goals he's got. He's due some more before the end of the season as well, definitely.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets close to 15, 16 this season. We've got 7 games left. It's not out of the question that he can make it to 20. It's not out of the question. I'm not saying he will.
No, absolutely.
But he's good enough. Especially if we've got to play Leeds, you give away goals like confetti. We could give a couple of teams a good hiding in that run-in. He could get to 20.
Yeah, could well do. Absolutely. And I think my rate for Isak is going to be a 10 as well.
10 for Isak. Craig says, pass of the season for Wilkinho. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's sublime.
Yabba Dabba Do one says Murphy a 9. Yamin says Murphy a 12. Awful penalty, says Andrew. Yeah, from Solly Marsh over the crossbar. Man U are through. They've been crap yet they have, but Man City will hammer them in the final. Yabba Dabba Do one says man the match. Isak 10, my greatest of all time.
Well, give him a chance.
13 for Isak, says Yamin.
Actually, we should give him 14. We should give him 14 because that's what he wears on his back.
Yeah. City will stuff United, says Ian. Smug look on 5 Slag's face.
5 Slag.
Right, Mason. So we complete the lineup, and you've got Joe Linton, J7. You're on mute.
10 out of 10. That guy was just simply magnificent today. As well as you had 10 on the pitch. So for me, Joe Linton gets a 10 because he was simply outstanding today.
Oh, he was brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. So we made a double change. So 66 minutes, on comes Callum Wilson and Miggy Almiron. So I will take Callum Wilson on the field for 64 seconds, gets a goal, nice little finish. Thought he did all right when he come on. Didn't have a lot to do really, apart from the goal. So for his 24-minute cameo, I'm going to give... Well, actually, I could say 27-minute cameo because it was 93 minutes. I'm going to give Wilson an 8 because he scored as well. Right, Rory, we're back to you. So I give you Miggy Almiron.
He was bright. He had a decent cameo. Obviously, didn't score. I'd say he got the assist for Wilson's goal, but I thought it was a pretty decent showing. I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think he was as good as Wilson, but he, for the time he was on, he was solid. But he's still trying to get those miles in his legs, so he's been out for a while. So with his second basically his second sub appearance. I thought he was better than he was last week, and getting back towards the Miggy that we knew and loved from the beginning of the season. I think it was fair.
Andrew says Joe Linton a 40. Baikin says 100. He was hot. Yeah. Yamin says 11 for Joe Linton. Yaba says Joey 10 player of the season. Yaba says 8 for Wilson and 7 for Mickey. Archer says Champions League football. Here we go. Up the league we go. Newcastle 6-1. The Cox won. Love it, Archer. Love it, mate. Wilson is 7, says Yamin. Right. So we'll come to you, Pete. I haven't got his picture on here, unfortunately. So I'm going to give you Javier Manquillo.
Kept it simple. I thought really did. Didn't put a foot wrong, I thought. I really thought he didn't. I think he is going to go out the door in the summer, though. That's the thing, though. We kept it simple, so a 7 for Manquillo.
7 for Manquillo?
Yeah, I thought you just kept it simple.
That's like I say, that's not a bad that's not a bad shout, and I'll just pop it up there on the screen. There you go, Manquillo. There he is. Hiding in the background there. Yeah. So you're going 7 for Manquillo, yeah? Mm-hmm. That's like I say, that's not a bad shout. Okay. Right, we'll come to you, Mason. So the next player to enter the fray with Manquillo at the same time was none other than this guy, Anthony Gordon. What was your assessment of Anthony Gordon, Mason?
I think he played a bit better on Saturday. Just a shame he's that chance was clear off the line, because it would have been surreal if he got his first goal today. And hopefully he has that confidence going into Thursday when he returns back to Everton. So for me, in fairness, he played decent as well. So for me, I'll give Gordon a 7.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's a fair enough shout for Anthony Gordon. And the substitutions didn't stop there, because obviously Cher went off with what looked like a bit of an injury, and then on came Jamal Lascelles, who I'll take Jamal Lascelles. Lascelles, I thought, well, didn't have a lot to do, to be fair. It was pretty, because the game was won. It wasn't like, it was just a bit of a walk in the park, really, for him, a stroll. I just give him a 6, because there was nothing really that Lascelles could have done. So yeah, he gets a 6 from me. I think that's fair enough. Just going to some comments.
Can I ask you guys something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When Lascelles is substituted on, you no longer have that sense of fear that he's going to screw things up. Because I'm actually quite comfortable when he comes on now.
Yeah, I wasn't that worried, actually, I thought.
Yeah.
Because we had the game done.
There's a time at the beginning of the season, we saw, like when we played Liverpool at Anfield, and you saw Lascelles in the starting lineup, you think, oh, bloody hell. Now I'm comfortable with it. Well, I wouldn't want him to start, but if he does start, I'm not so worried, because he had a good game against Liverpool, good game against Manchester City.
Yep.
You're not worried like you used to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is great. I think if a decent offer comes in for him in the summer, he'll be gone. But I don't think the club will be pushing him out the door. But if an offer comes in, they'll let him go.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, definitely.
He's obviously obviously the club captain. He's one of the big leaders back in the dressing room. He's not at the standard of where we want to go, but we can't get rid of everybody in one window. So he might be with us it's quite possible he'll be with us till the end of next season.
David Knight says, I honestly think Murphy's better than Miggy.
I think
Murphy's played well.
I think they've improved. I think they're improving.
Yeah,
Just say that they're improving a lot. Like obviously, been 8 years. Murphy was, but I mean, under the Cupboards Manu fan. I mean, he was just clearly lost at times. But under Eddie Howe, he's just a completely different player.
yeah, and I think it's been helped by having a run of games and not just coming on. But and he's taken advantage of it. That's what you want, is when players come in that they play well, so they make it hard to drop them. And Murphy has been doing that. Plus, Miggy's not fully fit. He can't be fully fit, but he's fit enough to be on the bench. But it's better to have someone in form starting and then bring Miggy on with sort of 20, 25 minutes to go, rather than start him and play him for 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you mean this guy, Mason?
I mean, I'm surprised if he wasn't at Wembley this afternoon.
Possibly was, yeah.
Yeah, he could tie 2 trips into one, because he can just nip down the road to the Tottenham Stadium and have a chat with Daniel.
Right. So, so we're coming into the nitty-gritty of things now. Right. What am I going to give Roly? I'll come to you next, Roly, because I had Jamal Lascelles. Right, Roly. I'm going to give you the fans.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I mean, it shows everything's going well when you're singing Ole after 30 minutes of the game. I thought that was brilliant. You normally hear that at the end of the game. But in the first half, I thought that was superb.
So you're good 10, are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. Right, we'll just jump into some comments and see what people have got to say. Lascelles a 5, yeah. Andrew's given Gordon a 6. Andrew says Murphy has better all-round game, but until today, Miggy scores. Now we have goals from all over the pitch. Yeah, we've got that little bit extra strength, haven't we? BS says Murphy and Miggy are very different styles of play, hard to compare. It's a tactical choice, absolutely.
Yeah, true.
BS says 10 for the woman running with a flag. Yeah, that was brilliant.
I thought that was class.
Did you see it, Mason? Because it's in your end, isn't it? Are you further away from it?
Which end was it?
I wasn't
in the John stand end, I think.
No, I couldn't see. I'd seen the videos and I couldn't see it, to be honest. Yeah, but I seen the videos, but it was class, like.
Yeah, because Sky sort of saw it, and the cameras just think this old deer must be close to 70, running down the stand with the big black and white scarf. It was class.
Looked like it was in the Sir John stand, but might not have been. It could have been the Gallagher end, or even.
I don't care.
Milburn. Yeah. David says. Andrew says fans 604. David says if City win the league, Howe gets manager of the season. I reckon. Yeah, he's got to. Andrew says I hope that one with the flag isn't on the signal. All she is just being sussed. Hey, I tell you what, it's not the first time things have been done like that. I mean, there was a guy who got, I think it was on the TV the other day, he got an injury, didn't he? And he tried to claim off the insurance company, and he had photos on him from being in Mexico climbing mountains. so the insurance weren't paying him out. So, yeah, he lost his case. And rightly so. Right, Pete, I come to you next, and I give you the gaffer, Eddie Howe.
Oh, what can you say? You got that totally right today. From last week, he said he was going to analyze what went wrong to make sure we get it right for today. And boy, he did that today, which was absolutely fantastic. Just absolutely brilliant. The guy's just been incredible, hasn't he? He's just been amazing. I think you've got to go double figures for what, anyhow. 10 out of 10.
I mean, if Man City win the league, there'll be a travesty if Howe doesn't win Manager of the Year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think if Arsenal do, which I don't think they will, you'd give it to Arteta. But I think if Man City win it, you've got to give it to Eddie.
Yeah. Right, Mason, I'm giving you the referee, David Coote.
He gave away fouls at times for us, and I think he was okay at times, so I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. He didn't do anything badly. We didn't do any of us anyway.
I mean, the thing with him, I forgot that he was there, which is a good sign. Because if you don't notice the ref, he's controlling the game and he's not doing anything stupid, which is good. I think the yellow cards he gave out at the end of the first half saved Spurs because they calmed down in the second half. So I think he actually controlled the game pretty well. There's nothing controversial. I think 6 is probably a little harsh. It's one of the, when you look at the standard of refereeing we've had this season over the last few weeks, that's probably one of the better performances. So
to be honest,
I'd be pushing 7, maybe 8, because he didn't do anything stupid.
No, he didn't.
He got all the big decisions right. You can't really ask for much more than that from a ref.
And I think he had a better performance when we played John Sinclair's Red White Army at Wembley in February. And fast forward to now, he was much better.
Yeah. I mean, we are hard on refs, and a lot of them deserve it. But when they had a decent performance, I think they should get a bit more credit than they do, because he got the major decisions right. I think most of the bookings were right as well, and I think because he didn't book people willy-nilly, he kept control of the game. And Spurs, I think they weren't as petty in the second half, and there weren't so many fouls, so he could let the game flow. So I thought it was a decent performance by him, which is rare, but you've got to give him credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if you forget the refs there, he's done a good job.
True. Andrew says, how infinity? And yeah, exactly. And Andrew says, on that picture, he says, House pointing to the scoreboard. Haha. He's probably saying to Stellini, have you seen the score, by the way? Andrew says, ref 3, just because I won't give him any more there, shade. Ian says, I thought the ref was okay today. Yeah, he was, Ian, wasn't he? Just, I mean, do you know what? All in all, we've won 6-1. We've totally humiliated them. That's another one of the big 6 that's been humiliated. So we've only got one more big 6 to play at St James's Park, and that is Arsenal. And if we only lose one game to the big 6 all season, that's Liverpool at home. That's been a bloody great season. That shows you how far we've actually come as a team. Yeah. And remember, a lot of these players were here before Howe came in. The likes of Joe Linton, Miggy Almiron, Callum Wilson. So,
Fabian Schär.
And look what he's done to Joe Linton. Look what he's done to Miggy Almiron.
Sean Longstaff.
Yeah, Jacob Murphy, to an extent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The thing, if we don't, we are going to be in sort of like uncharted territory, because if we don't lose to Arsenal and we don't lose to Chelsea, we wouldn't have lost to any London clubs this season, home or away.
Alpha says we battered Spurs. Yeah, we did.
I think that's a bit of an understatement, that.
We absolutely battered them. Yeah, definitely.
At half time,
Look,
I thought someone was going to ring the police because the Toon were murdering Spurs.
Yeah, absolutely weren't they? I mean, I'm going to go around the table, ask you for. I'm going to ask you for a prediction for Thursday night. I'll start with you, Mason. Thursday night, we're away at the Skip Rats at Goodison Park. What's your thoughts on that game, and what do you think the score will be against Little Lobs?
Just think you might bottle it again like you did the last time, but if they play like they did against Crystal Palace yesterday, and we play like we did today, I feel like we can comfortably win 2 or 3-0. Because I think if they get beat on Thursday, I think they're gonna go and do. I think they're gonna go and do it.
I hope so.
Well, Everton will. Yeah, I mean, it's you can see it, can't you?
Right.
Because you can see as well that Leicester are starting to find some form, and if they find some form and Everton go back down on the spinal road, then I think Leicester luckily survive, and Everton will be playing in the Championship next season.
Yeah, you could be right. I mean, I want to come to you now, Pete. I mean, yeah, we're away to Everton on Thursday, or the Skip Rats, whichever way you want to call them. And I mean, what's your overall prediction against Everton and against this guy if he plays as well?
Oh.
I have a big head and little arms.
Oh, that is just incredible.
Wow. That is wow.
So there's Pickford.
Oh, Jesus.
Or Prickford, if you want to call him that.
Oh, dear.
I knew you'd love that one, Pete.
That's brilliant. Oh, God.
So what's your prediction then, Pete?
I think we're coming comfortably down there as well. And I'm going to say 3-0 Newcastle.
3-0. And Roly, if we're coming up against this guy, what's your prediction, Roly?
I think we'll win. I think it'll be tough if we don't score early, because they are going to play that classic Everton formation of 1-10 and put everybody behind the ball. But if we get ahead, they can't do that because they need the points. So the good thing about it, they're in the bottom 3 now. Games are running out. The longer that we can keep them, the better. Because that's when they start to get desperate. I mean, we've been there before. In this part of the season, you don't want to be in the bottom 3. They would, even with Leeds' form, they'd swap places because Leeds aren't in the bottom 3. Everton are. They're going to scrap. They're going to try and break up the game. They're going to make it scrappy. But if we turn up and if we play some of the football like we did today, we'll win it comfortably. But I'm going to say 2-0. It could be more, but I think if we score in the first 10 minutes, we'll rip them apart, because they can't sit back then, because they've got to get something out of this game. And I think that's why we didn't beat them last season, because we didn't score early, and then that idiot zip tied himself to the post, because the ground was flat. They were flat. When that guy tied himself to the post, the crowd got back into the game and the players fed off it and they fluked to win. And that kept them up. But I think we can go there and win. I think it'll be a hard game. It'll be a physical game. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to try and rough us up. I think they're going to target Bruno. But I think we'll be too good for them. Provided we turn up. If we don't turn up, they could fluke a win. But we need to turn up. We've got 7 more games. We need to turn up for each of them. If we do, there's no reason why we couldn't win all those games we've got left. I'm not saying we will do, but there's no reason why we can't, because we're as good or better than everybody else that we're going to play for the remainder of the season.
So you're going 2-0, Roly.
Yeah.
That's not a bad shout. I mean, it'll be I think it'll be a tough game. Well, I'll say a tough game. Depends how Everton play. I mean, like you say, they could well sit at the back and just let us try and break through them. They may play a low block. I don't know if they will or not. But there again, Everton need to try and win a game. That they need to get out that bottom 3. So I can't see the players dropping that game on Thursday, in all honesty, because I can see Eddie Howe making sure that they're on their A game for Thursday. So I'm actually going to say we will beat Everton 4-0 on Thursday. That's confidence. If we can go to West Ham and win 5-1, then I'm sure we can go down to Everton and beat them. And if we start off quick from the start, I think if we go 1 or 2-0 up within the first 15 minutes, Everton have to come out and play, and I think it'll open it up for us. So I think we'll win 4-0. I mean, just stats here on Alexander Isak. Out the 15 he's played, he started 11 games. He scored 10 goals. And, so, I mean, 10 goals isn't bad. He's scoring frequencies every 97 minutes now. It's come right down. He's absolutely class, that guy. But, I'm gonna go 4-0.
The rate he's going, he's going to be down to a goal a game soon.
Alpha says Willock's assist for Isak was assist of the season, in my opinion. Do you know what it was?
Absolutely.
I thought it was as well, mate. Absolutely.
That was
Lee
just
says,
fine.
You're right, lads. What a result. Oh, happy days. All the players was outstanding. Absolutely, Lee. Absolutely, mate. Brilliant. And Lee says 5-0 win against Everton. Well, who knows? Mm-hmm. I said 2-0 today and we won 6-1. So, I've not got any of my scores right, I don't think, this season. But yeah. So, we're coming to the end of the show, so I'm going to come round and ask everybody. So, I'll start with Roly. Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you on your socials, please?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pole67.
Lovely, thank you, Roly. Sefton's changed his name, Peter, to Sexy Mag. Drinks are flowing.
Oh, brilliant.
And banter is brilliant with my blue mates. I can say respect to them, saying Eddie and the Tune are something special. Yeah, I mean, what's the thought, Sefton, about this guy on Thursday night,
Oh,
God. Right, Pete, do you want to let everybody know where they can find you and what you've got coming up?
So you can find me on my channel, PD Prologue. Be quick thoughts around. I'm going to get the fan reactions uploaded. And I might just do the match review and the player ratings tonight at some point. So I'm not sure what time yet, but if anyone wants to join me, feel free to do so. And you can find me on my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, all at PD Prologue as well.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Pete. And Mason.
Mason Ford on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much, Mason. Showing them, haha, Sefton. Luke says, you got my Gmail, Tony. Just got back from Dolo, been watching the match. Yeah, I did. I passed it on, mate. Yeah. Ian says, great day and great show, everyone. See you later, Tony. Thank you very much, Ian, and have a good evening as well. So you can find me down there at Tony31 on Twitter. So give me a follow and I'll follow you back as well. Also, my channel because you run it now. Also, if you like what you see, then please smash a like. If you haven't done so, then please do so on the way out. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button. To do so helps the channel grow. Bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. So yeah. So what has been a great day? We're now third in the league, and course, we're on course to hear this next season. So you may be hearing that coming soon on the Tannoys of St James's Park. So yeah, so let's hope we do. I better not play too much. I don't fancy a copyright. Thank you very much, but God isn't doing anything about a few seconds. But yeah, but we might hear that next season. Let's hope we do.
We will hear it next season. I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure we will.
I think this win will sort of would kickstart us already in good form. It'll just help cement the position. We've got a nice little gap between ourselves and Tottenham. We've extended our lead on Brighton, who didn't play. They've got a couple of games in hand, but they're still was it 9 points behind or something like that?
Yeah.
We've increased the gap against. We've restored the gap against Liverpool. Everyone that's chasing is running out of games. And they've got to get a point more than us because our goal difference is superb.
Yeah. So what's been a great day? You know, Isak gets a brace. Jacob Murphy gets a brace. You know, man of the match, Joe Linton scores one. Was an absolute monster in midfield today. Absolutely ran the show in my eyes today.
Yeah.
Also, for assist of the season, has to go down to Joe Willock. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant all round. But most of all, Eddie Howe, who outsmarted, outthought, and outplayed Stellini, who has got a lot to learn if he wants to be a manager. The man who he made a mistake instead of the FA Cup.
What's his the Spurs caretaker called again?
Christian Stellini.
Christian Stellini. I'm fluent in Italian, and that means Frank Lampard.
Oh.
Sefton says whiskey's all round and he didn't have to pay. Free drink and Peter.
Absolutely.
He's going to be in the right state, isn't he? Andrew says at least it's a shorter wait for the next game. Yeah, absolutely. We'll look forward to the game. That's the thing. We're going to be missing it when the season ends, aren't we?
But the other thing about it is next season we're going to have games like this, but we'll have games in midweek. Instead of going to Everton on a Thursday, we could be going to Bayern Munich on a Wednesday, or Juventus on a Tuesday, because Juventus have got their points deduction reversed.
Yeah, that's a bit dodgy in my eyes.
Yeah, that'll get them into the Champions League.
Yeah,
qualified. Or we could be going. Oh, where else could we go to? Ajax or PSG,
Manchester,
Sporting Lisbon.
Well, we can't in the group stages because they won't let teams from the same country play each other in the group stages.
Celtic.
Yeah. Well, that's if they qualify for the group stages, which isn't a given.
Which isn't a given.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
But yeah, so thank you to everybody who's come on tonight. Thank you to all that's come on the chat as well. And it just leaves me to say, as I always say, remember, the future's bright, the future's black and white. Away the lads, and it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
And me.
And me.
Thank you, take care, and we'll see you on the next show. Bye-bye.
Adios.